And I have a question. My question is basically regarding law of inheritance.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm not biological son that I just found out 2 years ago, then I only earn a third of it.
The child, the ruling in Islam is the child is for the one who owns the bed.
Who owns
So
the what?
who owns the bed, and that means like the husband of your mother. Even if she had a child from an illegitimate source, as long as she was married to your father, the child belongs to him, and it's still considered his son. As long he didn't disown you or anything like that, right?
No, never.
Okay. So no,
even during his latest mandate,
he'll still be considered your father,
even though my dad
even though
says,
biologically he's not.
oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was married to your mother. Even if she had had an illicit relationship or whatever from outside, as long as he was married to her at that time and the child was born while she was still married to him and everything, then he's considered he's considered the father of that child.
So the law of inheritance would be like a third for each of the sons instead of 1/3 for.
Well, that depends on what other relatives are there and this and that and the wife and are his parents alive. There's so many factors that you have to take into consideration to say the exact amount how much he's going to get. But yes, you would inherit from him.
Okay, so it's not the 1/3 because we're not supposedly biological father clause.
It's like he's your biological father.
Okay.
It's as if he was your biological father. I mean, because he's the owner of the bed, so you are considered his son. Right?
Yes.
As long as he didn't disown you or try to do anything like that,
right.
Then you will still inherit from him. But as for giving the exact amounts and stuff like that, you would have to give me details about like all the family and who's there.
Basically,
then we can do it. Yeah.
There's only 3 sons, and then the mom is basically divorced 10 years ago, and everything is done properly. Muta and everything else. My father has paid her dues and everything else. We went to the court of law in Indonesia, and the highest court of law says like, basically, okay, you just gotta pay this amount, and my father already set aside the money for it. So, in my opinion, that the mom wouldn't inherit anything because the divorce.
They're divorced,
right?
Yeah, if they're divorced, then she doesn't inherit.
So basically,
anything.
my dad only has him and me 3 sons.
He has 3 sons, yeah.
Right,
and who else does he have?
Grandsons and granddaughters.
Okay, no, don't worry. As long as he has sons, then the grandsons don't inherit anything. But he has sons and he has daughters too?
He doesn't have any daughters.
Okay, so he has sons and he has daughters. What about his parents? Are they alive?
No, they're all passed away.
So you're saying basically the only relations he have are his sons and his sons only, huh?
Yeah, and ex-wife.
And ex-wife doesn't count here.
Okay.
So no, he doesn't have a mother, doesn't have a father, doesn't have a wife. He didn't remarry or anything.
No.
Okay. So the only relations you have are these 3 sons.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Then they'll each get a third.
33%, 33%.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sheikh. Appreciate it. Is that in all madhab? The rulings are like that?
The owner of the bed is the one who's considered the father. Even if he happens not to be the biological father, you're still considered son. You still inherit from him, inshallah.
In Maliki and everything else, and all the same.
This is the opinion that we know, that we have said. I have to look. If you want me, I can check like each individual madhab what they say. But this is from the hadith, that the child is for the owner of the bed. So that means you're still considered. And of course, if you're considered his son, you will inherit from him.
Yeah, it's just that in Indonesia, Shafi'i madhab, it has a little bit different because I'm not supposedly biological father through DNA test.
No. You don't need to do any of that. You don't even need to do a DNA test or anything. As long as he didn't disown you or anything either.
Okay.
So then you are considered his son.
Even though my father.
Because you were born in his household, you were born from his bed.
Right.
Okay. Even though biologically it may be someone else, the fact that he was the one married to your mother during that time while that child was born, then he's considered.
One last follow-up question. Even though my dad explicitly says, please distribute the inheritance through Islamic rulings through DNA test.
He said through DNA test?
Yeah, basically, because it was an amicable divorce, and then my father was still wondering till his deathbed about DNA test. That's my father's claim to go through DNA test and see if it's
so is he saying basically that he doesn't want you guys to inherit it if you're not?
No. He said he wants me, but according to DNA test.
Oh, because he's saying that he was thinking maybe that has some relevance in the Islamic thing.
Right.
Okay, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's considered, even though he's not your biological father, he's still considered your father, and inshallah you inherit from him.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sheikh. Appreciate it. Jazakallah.